Oh yeah, I really like that beat there. That was a good one. Good morning, everybody. Afternoon. Oh yeah, you want some more of that, Brian? You want to show us your moves?
Just keep it going the whole time.
Keep it going, right? All right. Welcome, Hardin County. Welcome to Hardin Local with Hardin County Government. I'm Phil Tall. This is our monthly series where we connect you directly with the department and people who serve Hardin County. This is episode 5 of the 25 to 26 season. And today we're talking to Public Works, specifically solid waste and code enforcement. We've got Jonathan from Solid Waste. Good to see you, Jonathan. And meet you as well. And we also got Wally Skaggs from Code Enforcement.
Wally.
Good to see you, Wally. And as always, Brian Walker, Hardin County's favorite communications officer.
And only, also the least favorite. So,
yeah, that's what I always tell my son. He's my favorite kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
He's my only kid. Yeah, definitely. But Brian, before we get into it, you've got some county updates for us, don't you?
Yeah, I've got some great job opportunities for folks if you're in the mood to get yourself employed. You can head to hardincountyky.gov and click on the employment tab. That'll take you straight to a series of links for open job positions. Among those, we have a telecommunicator full-time working for our 911 center. Also, paramedics full and part-time, advanced EMTs full and part-time, and EMS full and part-time. And EMS has been a booming last 12 months in this fiscal year. We've added another ambulance station and lots of upgraded equipment. And it's a pretty exciting time to come to work in Hardin County government. And with that, I do want to point out that those EMS jobs have hazardous duty retirement pay as well. So that works out pretty well.
Okay. Right. Anything else?
We had all that ice, and I want to kind of hit a couple of numbers here. We had $30,000 in overtime pay for our road crews. We used 1,600 tons of salt. That is about 4 times what we normally use in a year. Normally in a full year, we use 400 tons of salt. We even started with 1,200 tons of salt. We never ran out, and we never stopped working during the entire event. But we had to keep getting replenishments and getting filled back up. So we had technically used more salt than we had. That salt cost us $175,000. We ended up paying another $65,000 on top of that to contract with some construction companies to use their road graders to help remove some ice. So that doesn't count some equipment failures and repairs that had to be made. And of course, using snow chains on the tires. Really rough on those tires, so we'll have some tires we'll be needing to replace and already have started. We're looking at $275,000 plus that we have to spend on this snow event. What ended up costing us. So just kind of wanted to update some folks and be transparent about what went on there.
Okay, that's a ton of salt. I mean, literally 1,000 tons? Yeah.
1,600 tons.
Oh, 1,600 tons. Yeah, a lot. What about election season? You said something like about encouraging residents to vote or get verified.
if you're not sure how to vote, and if you're not sure how it works, and it has changed since COVID-19 when the election cycle hit in 2020, you don't have to vote in a specific precinct any longer. You are still registered by your address to a precinct, but we have these voting centers, and they're scattered around, and anywhere inside Hardin County, you can vote at a voting center if you are a registered Hardin County voter. So if you have any questions, double check with Brian Smith's office, our clerk, and he'll be able to answer any of those and explain to you how that works. There's early voting ahead of time. There's absentee voting. There's a lot of moving parts to that. He does a very good job of keeping people up to date on their Facebook page as well. And we want you to follow us on our social media platforms for county government, and keep a track of all of the events on hardincountyky.gov. And that's everything from employment to fiscal court meetings, updates on governmental procedures, etc.
Okay. And then follow your old Facebook page, right? And
Oh, absolutely.
definitely. So if you're watching now or watching later, go on over to Facebook, type in Hardin County Government. Make sure you find the right one, the one with the logo behind Brian's head. And because there's a couple others, I think, out there, areas, other states that have a Hardin County. And also your website is hardincountyky.gov, where you can find a lot of information. It really is an award-winning site. All right, let's get started. Unless you got anything else I'd forgot to.
I think I'm good. I think I'm good.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to start with you, Jonathan. Let's start with some news people may not have heard. There's been a change in who handles garbage collection in Hardin County.
That's
What's
right.
happened with that?
Yeah, so about a month or two ago, Hardin County, the unincorporated areas, residents in that area had gotten a new waste hauler, and it went from Platform Waste Solutions to Unified Disposal Partners. And if you want to know easily whether or not that pertains to you, the easiest way to know is if your trash cans are orange. If your trash cans are orange, this announcement is for you. And what it means for you is really nothing other than the fact that their email has changed. And so the new email is hardin@disposalpartners.com. And it's all the same service. Nothing has changed. For example, their phone number is still the same telephone number, 270-769-0211. Um, Bulky item pickup service, like I said, same thing. The fees are the same. If as of right now, if you have 3 trash cans, you just want to make sure though that you're paying for those 3. And if you have 2 trash cans, and you're paying for 2 and you have an extra one, just give Hardin County, Hardin Unified Disposal Partners a call to make sure that they can pick that up and you're not getting charged for any extra fees that you're not, expecting. But really, that's all that's different is just the email, and that you want to make sure that your trash cans are aligned with what you're paying for, because they're going to do some audits.
And to that point, Jonathan mentioned this in one of our other interviews today. You're given 2 trash cans with your service, but let's just say I want 3 or 4 or 5. I can have as many as I want, but that is an additional fee.
That's
Okay.
right. That's right.
Well, I forgot what I was gonna say, but it was basically, yeah. So nothing's really changed other than they might want to like check on their bill, make sure they're not getting overcharged or undercharged, and
Yeah.
that's about it. And the email changed, but the phone number hasn't. So, is there any changes in pickup schedule or service, or no?
Nope. So if
Okay.
you're a Tuesday pickup, you're still a Tuesday pickup. If you're a Friday pickup, you're still a Friday pickup. Nothing about your service has changed.
Okay.
So you're just still expect the great site, the same great service that you've been expecting,
Mhm.
years in the past.
Okay. And what about large items? Say someone has an old mattress or something too big for the normal bin. What do they do?
Yeah. So if you have a large mattress and you're interested in getting rid of it, you can call, Unified Disposal Partners at
Mhm.
270-769-0211 to schedule a bulky item pickup service. And they'll set you on a schedule for a day to get that picked up. You might want to wrap it up in plastic because I'm sure the guys, picking it up don't want to haul off a mattress and touch it, directly. So just make sure, you're just kind of wrapping it up in plastic to help them get rid of it for you.
What was that phone number again?
The phone number is 270-769-0211.
The trick I always do when I buy a new mattress, I put the old one in the plastic that the new mattress came in. So it works out pretty good.
That's smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I got that up on screen.
I have to
for a
credit my
minute
wife
there.
for that. My wife came up with that. So,
And I'll just leave it up for one more second, 270-769-0211. Because, a lot of us, we may have known that number, but we always procrastinate calling to just get a simple thing to do.
I mean, you can also, if you don't want to call, you can always email them to request that. So their email again is hardin@disposalpartners.com.
Partner stock. I'll throw it up on screen.
Yeah,
There we go. And here's did I get that spelled right?
that's right. Yep.
All right. Hardin@disposalpartners.com.
And you do have to call or email for a bulk pickup. If you put it out there, they're not going to pick it up if it's not on their schedule.
That makes sense. All right, let's talk about recycling for a bit. The trailers are open 24/7, which is great. But I understand there's a reoccurring problem with what people are leaving there.
Yeah, so unfortunately, there's an issue at the trailers that residents are leaving things like pallets, unauthorized items that aren't accepted at the trailers. It could be anything like ironing boards, pallets. I can't think of anything on top of my head.
tires has been a problem.
Tires. That's right. And anything outside of this list that I'm about to go through, those items do not belong at the trailers. And the items that we accept are rinsed plastics number 1 and number 2, non-greasy cardboard, rinsed tin and steel cans, also regular printer paper like this, newspapers, but we don't accept magazines. And so anything outside of that list of items, they don't belong in the trailers. So preferably take those to the landfill or schedule a bulk out and pickup service with Unified Disposal Partners if that's your waste hauler. And that's the best way. And it's a crime to actually leave it there. So you don't want to, commit a crime by just leaving a pallet on next to a trailer. And
What about-
and we
what about-
also advise residents. Sorry.
Go ahead.
We
Keep
just-
finishing.
Oh, I was just gonna say we just advise residents to not bag their items as well. We've also been noticing that residents have been bagging their items probably to make it easier to transport from their house to the trailer, and they're just leaving the bag. You can put it in the bag, but you have to just empty it out into the correct bin that's inside of that trailer and take out the bag.
Okay. And what about glass bottles? I didn't know if I heard you mentioned.
Right, that's a great question. We get that question a lot. We don't, unfortunately, accept glass bottles at the trailer sites. For those items, we encourage residents to find a local retailer to help you, get rid of those items properly. Because glass can be recycled infinitely. But the issue with glass is that there's no way for us to process it, especially in Meade counties where our items get recycled and sent to. But it poses as a hazard at the trailers if we're accepting glass. So if something breaks, another resident might be at risk for cutting themselves, and we don't want to have that responsibility on our hands. So.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And everybody watching, if you guys know of a place where glass can be recycled in Hardin County, drop it in the comments or send me a message, and I'll make sure that it gets out there. Okay, so let's move on to the and I didn't actually know this until I was talking to Brian yesterday. The county owns the landfill but doesn't actually run it. Can you explain how that works?
Yeah, so basically the landfill is really just a space for residents and folks even outside of Hardin County to use that space to dump items at. Because it's on our land, we own the land underneath it, but we don't technically oversee it in depth. We just make sure that there's no hazards being posed to the residents in that area. Everything's kind of generally maintaining a standard of uh, uh, risk. Uh, you know,
Yeah.
no one's basically being risk. Being risk posed upon. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I understand what you're saying. Basically, like, I guess it's kind of like the sports park. I think that's what Brian said the other day, where like the city owns it, but it's managed by a different company.
yeah,
You know,
correct.
you
Yep.
want the profession. You want the I think the exact quote from Brian was, "You want the professionals running it, not the owners." Makes sense. It reduces risk. All good. Um, so this question can be for either your Jonathan or Brian. But Brian had mentioned a new program called Litter Hero. I don't know which one of you wants to talk about that, but tell us about that.
Well,
I can jump
Brian, you
in.
want to take it over?
Yeah. So Stephanie, who is our solid waste manager for the county, she is in close contact with her counterparts at other county governments, and there was a group that had come up with a plan similar to this, where they were encouraging residents to get out and pick up trash. So the idea is if you will go out and pick up trash and just take a photo of yourself picking up trash or holding up a bag of trash you have collected outdoors. We'll give you some publicity. We'll put your photo and your little story out on our social media platform, but also we'll have a little gift bag for you that Stephanie has put together with some fun goodies in it. And we've already had a couple of people take us up on that. There's a side to that it's not required, but if you'd like to, we're also offering something called the 20-20-20 challenge. We're hoping that folks will go out for 20 minutes a day, 20 days in a row, and pick up 20 pieces of trash. You can do either of those, and we'll say that you're a litter hero. And like I said, you'll get a little publicity for yourself out of that, but it's also just a great way to help keep those things out of our water supply and out of our countryside.
Maybe we could get somebody to turn that into a fitness challenge too.
There you go.
That'd be fun, like the 75 hard or whatever.
Yeah.
But we're picking up trash. That'd be great. All right. Anything else, Jonathan, that you wanted to say before we move over to code enforcement?
Sure. Well, I just want to say that I just want to cover the events that we have coming up for residents.
Okay.
So the first one that's coming up is our free document shred event. It's happening on April 1st from 1 to 2 p.m. at the Hardin County Road Department. And all you have to do to participate in this event is to pick up a free shred bag at our office here, 150 North Provident Way, Suite 223, which is on the second floor. And you pick up one of these bags here. It's a pretty large bag. You can fit over 100 documents in there at least. And all you do is put your documents in there, seal it up, and head over to the road department at 501 Bacon Creek Road from 1 to 2 p.m. And it's a great way to destroy and get rid of your more sensitive documentation, and also recycle that paper back, to the supply chain. Another event coming up is a free electronic scrap recycling event, which is happening on April 25th from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. The AGC Automotive's Americas plant on 1 Autoglass Drive here in E-Town. And this event is geared towards residents who have tech equipment lying around their house that no longer works or is a little outdated, and they're interested in maybe making room for more updated tech. And things like shredders, televisions, VCRs, cable boxes, power supplies, servers, anything with a circuit board, we accept. And this event is only for Hardin County residents only, just like our other events. But the thing is everybody's invited who lives in Hardin County. So you don't have to be a resident in unincorporated areas. You can be a resident in E-Town city limits, Radcliffe, Vine Grove, any of our cities in Hardin County. And so it's a great way to make sure these type of items that are particularly hazardous, they don't end up, somewhere where you don't want it, like, in your water supply, in a ditch somewhere, even in our landfill. And so the next event after that, well, it's not really an event, it's a program that we offer year round. It's the Deceased Animal Removal Program. It's a program that is geared towards our farmers out in Hardin County. And we have funds set aside for farmers or for residents who have livestock on their property, and like such as cows, horses, goats, pigs, llamas, alpacas, and it's to help residents get rid of those deceased animals if they so happen to die on the property. We can get rid of it without posing a hazard to themselves and also our groundwater, because you don't want a dead carcass kind of laying around and something happening regarding like contamination. And so
Yeah.
all you have to do to take use of that program is to call 734-1336 to schedule your pickup. And that kind of concludes our free disposal events / programs. Yeah, last update I just want to make your viewers aware of is that, we already talked about recycling, but we do have 7 recycling trailers set up throughout the county. They're unstaffed, open 24/7. They accept only rinsed plastics number 1 and 2, non-greasy cardboard, rinsed tin and steel cans, and also regular printer paper and newspapers. Any bagged items are not accepted. So if you're going to take a bag there, make sure you empty the bag and leave with the bag. And any authorized items, please do not leave those at the trailers. Make sure you're, utilizing, events like our free dump day. That's
Yeah.
happening on May 30th for, mattresses, pallets, any sort of non-hazardous item that, is a little bit bulky, construction debris. This free dump day is for that in the landfill. So
Okay. That's great.
That's all I
Thank you, Jonathan, for all you do for the county
you're welcome.
and for serving the citizens in your professional career. That's great to have. I'm not guessing your age, but having younger people doing that is a real encouragement to see.
He is 74 years old. He just looks young.
Yeah, and I'm 512. No. But here's that bulky item pickup number again.
That's
if you
right,
have a bulky item, 270-769-0211, or you can also email Hardin at disposalpartners.com.
Yep.
And that's if you have orange trash cans. If you don't have orange trash cans, then you're not using the county trash service.
Right.
So, all right. Well, let's move on to code enforcement. Hey, Wally.
Hey,
Good to see
how's it
you.
Good to see you.
Good. You too. So a lot of people, including myself, may not know exactly what code enforcement does or that it even exists as its own thing. Walk us through what is it that you do in your job?
So code enforcement, you're right in thinking most people don't. They might think that I'm telling you where to put a shed or a fence, some sort of a planning and development. That's not what it is. It's enforcing what's called the property maintenance ordinance to make properties safe, for the welfare of the citizens. Yes, it is as basic as cutting your grass, but it goes on to scattered garbage. Maybe it was a trash can got flipped over, wildlife got into it. Unfortunately, it's been laying out there for quite some time, and now you're welcome rodents. But it also goes into maybe a dilapidated structure. Maybe it's one that's been abandoned. Maybe it's been one that's caught on fire. And now we run into instances where the neighborhood kids, sometimes they want to go investigate, and they're going inside these houses, maybe at risk of falling through the floor, the front porch collapsing. So I get calls, and it's my job to go out for the safety and welfare of the community and get that type of stuff cleaned up. It could be as simple as a verbal, finding that happy medium, going one-on-one with somebody. Unfortunately, it could written letter to all the way to a courtroom.
Where does the legal authority come from for your office? And then also, is this the county saying which you kind of answered it. Is this the county saying we don't like the look of your yard, or is there an actual law behind it, I guess?
There's a law behind it, and some of it might stem from a little bit of what they call a blight nuisance, how something looks. But then when it gets into garbage or maybe a transmission that's leaking, then it becomes more environmental, which, I do utilize other organizations such as the health department, the state division of water and air. Going back to, what Jonathan was feeding on, for example, we got these e-scrap event that, we've got it scheduled, as he said, but we also around late August, early September, we have what's called household hazardous waste. People need to know how to get rid of paints, pesticides, and stuff like that. You don't want to throw it out in the ditch. If you've got prescription drugs, you can get rid of it then too. You don't want to flush it down the toilet. Out in our unincorporated area, a lot of us are on septic and have lateral lines in our backyard. So even flushing some medications down the drain puts it out in our waterway in our backyard, where animals can be, hurt. Some of them are still drinking on well water out in our unincorporated area, which, so I can bounce all over the place. In some instances, yes, it's probably just like, what does this property look like? How is it affecting property values? But then there's also the safety aspect. My job is to find that happy medium in some instances. One man's junk is another man's treasure. You've heard that. I try to be fair about it. In fact, I like to just get people on the same page with me, making them understand I didn't write this ordinance, but I am paid to enforce it for the citizens, the taxpayers of Hardin County. But at the end of the day, it's everything from environmental to safety.
Sure. It's important. What are some common code violations you actually deal with on a regular basis?
Well, I almost said it because a lot of it is I get them by calls, and that's it. People can call, get old-fashioned phone, text my gov, go to our county website. And I do want to add this. I am the code enforcement officer for the unincorporated area. I'm out in the county. I'm not the city of E-Town or city of Radcliffe, Vine Grove. I just do the unincorporated area, which some could say that's more challenging, quite frankly. It's expected more in the city, in some people's eyes, to be regulated, but we do have a code enforcement in the unincorporated area. A lot of counties have it. My ordinance might not be quite as strict as the city, but most of them have been, I don't want to use grandfathered in, but they've been created off of the state property maintenance ordinance. And then a lot of them are amended and been tweaked and special things of how tall your grass has to be. Ours doesn't even have how tall the grass has to be. It's my discretion for the most part. So, you can tell, all of us can tell, if you went out in the properties knee high, that's the difference between I haven't had a chance and I'm really letting it get out of control, talking about the high grass. So, again, it's in my discretion. I'm not going out there if somebody's got 6-inch tall grass for the most part. So,
is this something like burning tires? Is that something that you enforce, that sort of thing? Or
so here's the thing. I'm not actually the one that does illegal burning, but when I do get that call, that's handled one or two ways by me. I am either going to reach out and say, hey, look, you've been reported as, illegal burning. Maybe I'm out there for something else and I see that they're burning something. It doesn't just have to be tires that it's illegal to burn. I've got two choices. Tell them that, hey, if you got to quit doing this, or turn them over to the Division of Air Quality Control. And then regional officer can come in and fine them for illegal burning. Speaking of tires again, not just burning tires, but where some people don't think, if you have an accumulation of tires on your property, they hold stagnant water, and that stagnant water is actually kept warm. It's a perfect nesting for mosquitoes. And mosquitoes are carrying more and more things now. And let's face it, if you're trying to have a family cookout and your neighbor has 50 tires stacked up beside his house, if it's not enough that you don't see them, but you can't even enjoy your backyard because there's a numerous amount of mosquitoes on you, sometimes it's as simple as because there's 50 tires next door holding stagnant water for nesting for mosquitoes.
I never knew that at all. What is a good way to dispose of tires?
Well, we offer, it's only every 3 years, but we offer a free event. We're full of free events, which benefits me to get people to cooperate. I mean, it is only every 3 years. But there is also a place in Louisville. Is it in Louisville, Jonathan?
Yes.
And I don't have that number on hand, but if somebody, because they can do so many things. If you only have a couple tires, I think you can go to one of your local tire places, just like if you have your tires changed, and you can pay a small fee to get rid of that tire.
And here's the thing, having come from that industry, I've done a bunch of work in the garage industry. Pretty much if you're buying a tire, you're replacing a tire. You put new tires on your Jeep. Well, you took 4 off, maybe 5. They will dispose of those for you. There is a fee built into it. And this is the thing people don't realize. They're like, well, I'll just take my tires with me. Okay, but guess what? You still have to pay that disposal fee. I think it's $1.50 per tire to the state of Kentucky. So they're going to charge you for that, whether you leave your tires or take them with you. So I honestly don't know how people accumulate 20, 30, 50 tires, even over a long, long period of time, because when I buy a tire, I'm leaving a tire. I don't have any use for it at my home. I don't know where these people are getting these tires from.
I guess it's like tractor tires and four-wheeler
But there
tires.
again, if I'm buying a tractor tire, I'm pretty sure the place I'm buying it'll take it off my hands, take the old one. So it's not
Unless you're like my grandpa used to be, he'd take his own tires off and replace at the farm. But oh yeah, well that's good to know. I didn't think. Yeah, you could probably just call like a place like Ride Right and be like, hey, can we bring a few tires in? Yeah.
Don't want to speak for them. Wally wasn't.
No, yeah.
Somebody might be willing to work with you on that.
Yeah, you never know. And I'm not meaning they're just the top of name brand in my mind right now when it comes to that. But there's a place in Louisville and once every 3 years. So here we go. This is a question that popped in my head, Wally, that I wanted to ask. What's the craziest code enforcement call you've ever had to deal with?
I can honestly tell you that's hard to answer because it's unbelievable what I do see. The amount of properties I see. Again, I'm not just talking about 6-inch tall grass with a transmission here or there. I'm talking about what looks like an absolute tornado went through, to be quite honest with you, and wiped out a shed or garage, and the garage is gone and everything that was in it is across the entire front and backyard. And unfortunately, a lot of people have a rhyme and reason, want to have that attitude that it's their yard, they should be able to do what they want to do. It's a free country. And again, it's up to me to try to find the happy medium and try to make them understand that I'm not out to make it any harder than it's got to be. Here's the resources I can offer to you. Here's the phone numbers. Because like I told you, I don't have the phone number in front of me, but I do have it in my code enforcement vehicle. And I try to help them as much as I can, help me, help our community, stay safe. Quite frankly, we want to be proud of our community. You want to be able to go down even a backcountry road and say, this is my hometown.
I hear.
So
I definitely agree. And I just did a quick look up on that to go back to that Louisville waste place where you can take tires.
Okay.
I think it's called Kentucky Tire Recycling.
Does that sound right, Jonathan?
That's right.
Yeah. And it sounds like there's another place called Green Munster Tire Recycling. So if you just Google drop off tires Louisville, you'll find it. There's quite a few places. I figured I better do that since I mentioned another brand that probably doesn't want a bunch of tires showing up. So so don't call right about your leftover tires. Just don't do that.
Yeah. So that was a loaded question for me to say.
Yeah.
What's the worst property or what's?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's.
I just didn't know, like, if when I asked you the question, if just some instant would pop into your head and as
Yeah.
just
Oh,
something that
I
was
had
really
so many,
shocking.
I had so many pop in my head, to be quite honest with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like that.
Are
Okay.
any of these-
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Are any of these people frequent flyers?
They are.
Do you have to go to Bob's house every
They
5
are.
years?
You know, I have a you know, a running report where everything gets put in, when I got the call, who I talked to, and the phone numbers. And you know, usually, like you said, frequent flyers, the ones that I get called in on, I'm usually able to pull up an old case by search and then call and, you know them by name. And then still also try to find a nice way to say, hey, look, you know what the expectations are now. I get too many complaints to come back out and tell you what I already told you 3 months ago or last year. You know what I mean? You've let it go back. You know, here's the pictures that I took last year. Here's the pictures once I got it cleaned up. I tell them, hey, look, this looks so much better. Please leave it that way. And then if a year or 5 months later I go out and it literally looks like it went, like I haven't been out there, I get too many. You know, again, I only do the unincorporated area, but what are we, the third or fourth largest county in the state of Kentucky?
Yeah.
Graphically, somewhere in that range, yeah.
Yeah. So if you take and leave my office right now and go all the way to Sonora, you know, and, you know, and this being said too, I have to kind of group my daily route. And, you know, if I go to Sonora and then go all the way up to West Point, because there is parts of West Point that are unincorporated area, that's a pretty long drag, time consuming. And if I've already been out there, I would choose just to like, I have job security, whether or not I have repeaters or not, for sure. So,
Yeah. So somebody is watching right now and wants to report a code violation in their neighborhood or, you know, subdivision or whatever. How do they do that?
well, we have the our county government website, and then we have what's called Text My Gov, where people can come into like an online portal. And then there's keywords and different things that what that does is it sends it to my email. And if for some reason that keyword is not caught and sent to my email, people like myself and Jonathan, for that matter, all of us, we go in there daily and we look. And if it's not ours, we send it to the appropriate department, make sure that, you know, whether it be potholes or whatever it is. So you've got this, you know, Text My Gov, you've got go into our county government website. And then last but not least, just a good old fashioned phone call. You know, give me a call, see if you're in my jurisdiction, if you're in a corporate area, hear you out. What's the problem? See what I can do. Go out. Protocol, I go out. To these properties. I pull up. I take pictures. I meet one-on-one. I leave door notices. You know, hated by most and loved by very few sometimes. But
I'm sure it is a thankless job.
it's part of the job. Yeah, absolutely.
I can
Well, thank
actually I can actually piggyback off of what Wally's talking about. It's a free way for residents to report things like litter, dump site, recycling concerns, and missed trash. Some of it deals only with solid waste department. Some of it, like a dump site or something, might deal with Wally, might overlap a little bit with what Wally does. And that number, if you want to report litter, missed trash, a dump site or recycling, you text this telephone number, 270-951-0951, and you type in the word litter if you want to report litter, missed trash, 2 words, to that number to report a missed trash collection, dump site, 2 words, to report illegal dumping, where it just might be somebody's property who's just hoarding stuff. Or if you have a question about recycling, or you want to know more information about recycling, just type in recycling and text that to 270-951-0951. And so I just wanted to put that information out there for your viewers, for an easy way to report that.
Very good. Great. Is that Text My Gov number? Is that what that is, or is that something else?
Yes, it is. We have this way for residents to report that kind of stuff that I just listed, or you can actually sign up for the free notification system. That it's a way for us to release announcements, which is primarily what Brian does. He releases announcements regarding office closure, road closure, service delays, weather updates, free disposal events that are coming up. And that is Hardin County, one word, to 91896. And so that some of that stuff deals with solid waste. Some of it deals with, Hardin County government as a whole.
Okay. And Wally, is that text my gov number? Is that the best way to get a hold of you? Like if to just because that's going to come straight to your email, right? Too.
It's going to go into that portal that I spoke of, and keywords are going to be caught. Those keywords are going to send it to my email. Is it the best way? I mean, it's not going to. It's going to be taken care of.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's that way, in the phone number. I mean, obviously, the phone number too, because some people prefer to call. Some people, quite frankly, don't. They would rather text in this problem, want to remain anonymous, to be quite honest with you. But it's good that we have these kind of resources, like when he's talking about where you get a text message, all these things we told you about, the shred event, the landfill, these kind of things, if you've linked up, or however you would say that, to that app, your phone's going to go off. You're like, oh, that's right, that shred event is coming up, and it gets the word out there. I mean, our phones, I can tell you phone numbers from when I was a kid of all my neighborhood friends, but I can't tell you my girlfriend's phone number right now because it's in my phone. So
no, me too.
Reminders, calendars, alarm clocks, and then hey, now you get texted to be reminded. Technology, right?
The technology is great. We know we love it here at Hardin Local, and there's the Hardin County government website. I'll send it across. So, is there anything else, Wally, that you wanted to say before we start wrapping up?
I really can't think of anything. I'm trying to think if I don't know, Jonathan, you help me, or Brian, do you think of anything that I haven't already said? I've been doing it 24 years now.
Yeah, I think the main point is for residents to know where they go when it comes to property that looks a little bit, unkept, and maybe Wally could even, just take a look at it and see if it's within the code, and we're giving residents a way for them to make that easy. So just text, dump site to 9510951. So things like that are just really important for residents to know.
Okay. Great. Well, Wally, I also want to thank you for doing what you do. I'm sure you don't get thanked very often. And for any of our viewers that see Wally around, make sure you thank them too, because, it's important to thank these people that work in our county government. They don't make as much as they probably could elsewhere. And I see like you guys doing a service to the community through your profession. So we thank you for that.
And we all, we are a team. We really are. A lot of us wear a lot of hats. As far as code enforcement, I am, in fact, the one that helps do these shred events from time to time, cardboard and this and that. And, when we talk about the trailers and how important it is to not dump what's not supposed to be there, that's not only important to us because we don't want it blowing around everywhere. We don't want to have extra manpower to go out because that takes away from us doing our other jobs. And I had said earlier today when we was talking about this, it's easier to tell you what we do accept at these trailers than what we don't. And every one of these trailers have a sign out there saying what we take. And then it's not as simple as that too. We've got people that are coming out to these recycle trailers and there's room inside of them, but they're not taking the stuff in it. They're dropping it at the door. And then the next person that comes in can't get in the trailer to put it in there. And it looks like that, we could be doing a better job with our trailers when in fact what we're doing, and the reason we keep bringing that up, is help us help you. Don't make it harder on us. If that's put out the door and a little wind takes it across the parking lot, now we're out there picking cardboard up from across Farmers Market. And all it takes is one person to go out there and not take it in the trailer to make the next 10 or 20 people go out there and not be able to not get in the trailer to put it inside the trailer.
Okay. Good to know. These are all good things to know. I've already asked you guys the questions about contact information, so we're going to start wrapping up here. Jonathan, Wally, and Brian, thank you all for showing up. And a lot of good information in a short amount of time. I know we went a little longer than we planned, but I think it's important to get as much information out there for everybody. Some people will, I've seen people come in and out of the stream the whole time. And like I say, I'll condense this down, edit it up a bit, and I'll put it out on Spotify and on Apple Podcast and other podcast platforms, as well as YouTube and Facebook. There'll be a shortened version. It'll still have all the same content. It'll just be a little more better put together than the live. And I'll probably have that out early next week. And if you're on Spotify or Apple Music, you can find this podcast. It's different than the Hardin Local, just the regular Hardin Local podcast. This one I gave a name of Hardin County in Focus. And so if you look up Hardin County in Focus, it'll pop right up. And you can also go watch several other interviews we've done. As always, Joanne Tall, my grandma, just said, hey. Hey, Joanne.
Hey, Joanne.
Hey, Joanne.
Good to see you. I'll be seeing you Sunday. So, but anyway, Brian, anything else that we need to cover before we sign off?
I think we're good.
All right.
We appreciate the opportunity to get out and talk about these things. And
Yeah, Phil, thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Definitely welcome. And next month, we'll be here on, I think it's April. It'll be April the 1st. I think it's the first Friday in April. Do you know who we have on?
Double check that date. It should be 911 and telecommunications will be with us.
Okay, great. Well, as always, you can follow Hardin County Government on Facebook and visit them on their website at hardincountyky.gov for everything county related. You can sign up for Text My Gov and some of their other services there that'll help you stay in the know. And you can also click that follow button and follow us here at Hardin Local, and we'll try to keep you up to date. But we're not going to be able to do as much for the Hardin County Government as they do on their own page. So make sure you follow them there too. But anyway, our next episode in April, we'll have that dates, and we'll put that out there soon. And we just thank you guys for watching. I'm going to get us a little more of this chill music on as we sign off. Oh, that's a good one, I think. But anyway, guys, have a great Friday. Thank you for watching Hardin Local. Stay in the know.
Thanks, guys.